Good afternoon. First, I'm deeply moved and humbled by being named as a distinguished alumnus of Anderson High School by the Forest Hills Foundation. I'm grateful to have been nominated for this award by Lieutenant Colonel retired David Maris, who received this honor last year. I first met Dave in Mrs. Christie's fifth grade class following my father's transfer to Cincinnati in early 1962. Brief comments are hard for an academic physician, especially for a geriatric neuropsychiatrist interested in understanding the arc of patients' lived experiences. I migrated away from Anderson Township 52 years ago, but I never emigrated from the values of its public school system. So my comments reflect a time and place as important to me today as they were in 1970. I hope today's students create their own memories of their time in the Forest Hills school system. When they get old, they will find solace in them. I have shared many times to colleagues, friends, and family that I was fortunate to have attended Anderson's elementary, middle, and high schools. I also believe that the quality of my public school education was superior to that which I might have received from any of the private schools in Cincinnati in the mid and late 1960s. Much was expected of us as students, but our rewards were substantial and our experiences laid a foundation for successful careers and lifelong relationships. But sharing such opinions might appear gratuitous instead of being an expression of profound gratitude. Representing Anderson's 1970 high school graduating class is an honor. This is, however, an understatement. It is a profound privilege to represent my classmates. Some would accuse me of being biased. Well, I am. But when I compare my classmates and those friends from the classes of 1968, 69, and 71 to others I've known along my educational and career journey, this bias is continuously reinforced. Why would I ever continue to use Facebook if it wasn't for the fact that nearly 50% of my friend contacts are from Anderson? And how could I ever justify texting almost daily with gentlemen who I consider brothers, Steve Lanehart, Nick Miller, Gary Sotier, and Dick Middleton, and possess the wisdom to delete these chats with regular frequency? My deep admiration for those who competed for the orange and black is reverent. Our shared experiences forged bonds that built resilience, trust, character, and shared memories of success, failure, and humor. You might ask any of my football teammates what this phrase means. Take a lap around that imaginary tree. No, take 2 laps. Or inquire why my wrestling teammates ran and did calisthenics beneath the natatorium stands to make weight. Or the definition of wrestle off, or try and always fail to escape Bill Harris from the down position during wrestling practice. Or ask my track teammates why we would ever eat track cinders after near-missed baton handoffs in relay races. Or for that matter, why my mother strapped a vaulting pole to the top of her 1965 Mustang to take it to a 9th grade track meet at Cincinnati Country Day School. You might ask why student athletes from our era remain indebted to coaches such as Bill Harris, Ed Hoffer, Fred Enders, Art Bradford, Ed Beck, Jim Neiman, Jeff Citizen, Mary Jo Ruggieri, and of course, Jumpin' Joe Miller. In a similar way, why do memories of Anderson's faculty remain so vivid? The high academic standards set by Mrs. Christie and Mr. Boyle at Anderson Elementary School, or Mrs. Zando at Anderson Middle School shepherding my passions for writing, or Mr. Shepard demonstrating painful and practical outcomes for risk-reward gaming, or Mr. Horning, our biology instructor, for seeing my early aptitude in medicine when he asked me where the alimentary canal was, and I responded with certainty, Panama. You might ponder how the caliber of and brilliance of Anderson's high school faculty guided us through the turmoil of the late 1960s. How opportunities afforded us in the arts, music, theater, literature, science, civic engagement, and technical skills training shaped our futures. Why scholars such as Gene Harris cared to teach me a hard lesson about scholastic integrity that has remained a foundational principle for my research and scholarship in medicine. Why do we remember other role models such as Roger Grooms, Joe Schaefer, the sartorial Wayne Williams, or Dale Swisher, or revere the remarkable and inspirational Richard Wesp, who shared with me after my sophomore year, "Chris, you certainly try hard, but you really can't sing." Mom was annoyed. Dad simply stated, "Like father, like son." Last, how could anyone predict how the cultural values of the Anderson community were the anchors that I grasped and clung to after injury caused me to wash out of West Point and the United States Army 3 months after high school graduation? Dejected, depressed, and lost at that moment in time, my Anderson experiences enabled me to build resilience from failure and embrace the principle that service to others is the anodyne to pernicious despair. As my West Point classmate, General Marty Dempsey, the 18th chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, exhorts us to consider, make it matter. I've tried to make it matter for my patients, my students, my colleagues, my family, my friends, and the health policy of this nation. And Francis Chan advises us, our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. To which Shakespeare adds, no legacy is so rich as honesty. I am blessed to have Kathy, the love of my life, as my life partner for 46 years of marriage. It seems like yesterday she swept me off my feet after my first year of medical school. We have 2 daughters and 2 sons-in-law that we adore. Our 4 grandchildren enrich our lives every day. I am grateful to receive this wonderful honor. My parents, Janet and Chris, would have been thrilled. They loved Anderson as much as I do. And were Mom, a founding member of the Forest Airs Choral Group, be here today, she would lead us in singing, "By the fair Ohio's waters, strong and staunch and bold, stands our worthy alma mater." Thank you. I am truly honored by this recognition.